Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Lighting Your Sunshine, where we like to shine a light within and empower ourselves. So, today's reading is going to be Pick a Cup tea reading, and we are going to do a little bit of cards as well. But there's also a very important message to kind of go in with this. And so this portion, I'm just going to do it. I'll put timestamps if you want to just get to the Pick a Cup part. But yeah, I feel like this part is so important as well. So where do I even start? So I just did a reading, and it was shared yesterday, but it was just filmed a couple minutes ago. and the two are connected. So this is kind of like part two. So to sum up the first one, it was all about a door or a lock that had no key. Because you couldn't go through it that way anymore, you had to come up with your own destiny. You had to do your own choice. So you get to choose your own adventure. Whee! Shaky. And in it kind of went into, I didn't even know I was going to share it in that reading. I didn't know that I was ever going to share it. I just thought it was something I was working on. It was 11 when I saw that. But it pretty much talked about the collective going through a huge shift, a huge jump. That in this last year, it's almost like collectively everyone's been kind of put into a spiritual jail. And so no matter how much you keep trying to push things, keep trying to make things happen, it just wasn't time, and it was meant to be let go of. And so we went into samurai code and went through all the principles of that. And I didn't even click that I've been holding on to that reading since August, September, but it wasn't time to share. And then this morning I was making my hot water, my tea, whatever I was choosing. And they said, do a tea leaf reading. And I was like, sweet. So I pulled it out. But I see now that connection because both of these are from Japan. And that's the samurai. And so I was, oh, it's just so cool. They were both gifted to me. And this one is hand painted. I don't know when it came. I wish I could show you the inside, but too late for that. Maybe we'll show you. No, it's on the thumbnail. And then this one was made in occupied Japan. And I was like, what does that even mean? So I have a little brief thing here that I would like to share first. So the phrase made in occupied Japan refers to the items manufactured in Japan between 1945 and 1952, during an Allied occupation of the country following World War II. This is a time when Japan's economy was being rebuilt, and many goods were exported to countries like the United States and others to help stimulate Japan's recovery and support its economy. Such items often include ceramics, toys, and other goods marked specifically with Made in Occupied Japan, or similar variations to indicate their origin. Today, these are considered collectible due to their historical significance and the relatively short time period in which they were produced. And so these were gifted to me, and they were at an estate sale. And hi, Koopy-Doo. Koopaloops, are you gonna hop up? You need attention? All right. So, yeah, I just thought that was so interesting because I didn't know that I was going to share that whole samurai thing. But there's quite a few insights from the last reading that for part two, I didn't even know how I was going to share it, but it makes so much sense to go with this pick a card reading. So let me go over here back to my insights page. So I feel like, is there anything else that I need to... Oh yeah, it talked about how collectively the door had been shut, that you can't get through it, but there was a portal, right? So in this past year has almost been like spiritual jail. You had to go within, you had to find the things that trigger you, light and dark, whatever, and embrace the things that you don't love about yourself. Not change them, but accept them and heal them. And by doing so, it almost created this portal. So it's happening individually, and it's happening on a big scale collective. And it seems like things were so slow at that time, but now there's a catalyst to move forward. And so when I go to the very beginning of my insight, it said, turns out there was no key. The door is permanently closed. It's time to move on. And it said, you closed that door a year ago. And so over here, possible new reading with the continuation of same story. So broken. So I've been having this conversation with my guides, and they keep telling me, because I don't know about you, what you've been through, but I know what I've been through, and life last year sucked, but it was so good. Like, I'm so happy with the way things turned out, and I probably would do it exactly the same. But when it first happened, I felt very broken. And I used to have conversations with my guides that would be like, I think I'm broken. And they'd be like, you're not broken. And I'd be like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm broken. And they're like, no, you're not broken. And I was like, well, then what am I? And they said, healing. And so here I have this thing written, and it says broken. And then I had, what did they show? They show broke shattered pieces, which in, I think it's Japan. I'm pretty sure it's Japan. And look, there's like gold on the edges here. But I actually just saw, I can never say that word quite properly. But when something has been broken or shattered, they take, and I actually got to like, I love watching them like put the pieces back together. And then they do that, and then they paint it gold. And they like infuse it back. And then on all the cracks, on all the lines, it's now seen as even more beautiful than when it began. And so that's what I think this broken, this cracked, this healing phase is. Remember this broken, because everyone doesn't want to feel broken. They don't want to break it. No, we want to maintain things as is. But that's where your real strength comes from. That's where the healing comes from. So they showed broken, shattered pieces, really a puzzle. And all you have to do is put the puzzle pieces together. You need to balance the light and the dark. And then so they showed it as like, I don't know, in like a circle, like those kaleidoscope things, like woo, maybe the other way. And it's like, woo, no, I don't know which way I would look. But you know those things, and you like put it to the light, and it's all these broken pieces, and they're all going around, and they're all doing their weird twisty thing. But when the light hits it, it turns into all this like 3D, mosaic. Okay, hold up. Are you gonna go? You go. I'm gonna sit back down. Okay, bye-bye. Yeah, and it turns into like cool, beautiful, intricate, even more detailed pieces than the pieces that you see. So I think it's just like looking at things with a different perception, that whatever is broken is actually beautiful. And so from that, I saw the kaleidoscope then turn into a stained glass. And they said the puzzle then turned into stained glass, and it was transformed into a higher level than the clear window before. Hi again, Coopy-Doo. Good to see you. Welcome back. So yeah, that's what they showed. They showed like a piece of glass, something, and it just shattering. And before, all it did was like keep things on the other side of you. Now I'm hearing like Ariel, part of your world. And so I see that breaking. I see you putting these pieces back together. I see you adding color to it, adding that gold, adding whatever you want now. Now that it's all pieced back together, you've got this beautiful, Beauty and the Beast. I did hear the Ariel, but that's what I'm seeing. The beginning one of the cartoon, and there's that stained glass window with the rose. And yeah, do you want the clear, boring window where you just look out and, oh man, they show me like birds hitting it and birds pooping on it. Not much really going for that window. You can see out, but why would you want to see the beauty in something? And so you have to break that and let things go. You need to shatter and pick those pieces back up by balancing the light and the dark in it. And then the song, I don't actually know who sings the original, but do you know what? I feel like I'm old enough that songs that I listened to in high school are now being remade. And I think that's awesome, because getting older is a gift. And so I heard Joss Stone, and it was that song, Higher Road. And so the part that kept playing over and over again was like, it's too late to change your mind. Let loss be your guide. And then that's just at the end of the song. It's too late to change your mind. Let loss be your guide. And then the next little bullet says that things now are more precious, rare, and exclusive. They're showing a tumbled stone that was raw, now being polished. And that's what this whole process has done. And the last thing to tie up all this is I kind of wanted to talk about bones, because bones break. And, you know, we try so hard not to break. We don't want things to break. And here we have, I don't know if this is bone china, but that would be really cool. I was under the impression that it was, and I can't remember where I got my source, but I can't remember. So how fitting that I have all this here, and now bone china, and feeling broken, feeling all these things. So within this loss, within this breaking, let that guide you back to the light to heal, so that you can transform it into something way more the kaleidoscope beauty. Now you've got options, you got depth, you got beauty. But the thing about the bone, oh yeah, and so in the last reading, did I mention about the key? I did. So when you're born, when you're in your little embryonic whatever, and your bones start to form, you start off with like your spine, but one of the first bones to be established is the clavicle. And I thought that was such a cool thing. It said the clavicle is the first bone to develop and the last to fuse. And in Greek or Latin, the clavicle bone stands for key. And in it, so in the last reading, it talked about a portal, and that portal was within your heart. And the clavicle kind of leads to the heart, right? But it was all about you going within yourself, shifting and changing things. Like you have the key. It was always with you. And so in that one, it was about a door that has no key, but because that's the last to fuse. It's closed. So here you are in your meat suit. You can't go back to source and like how you used to. Now you're having this 3D human experience. Now you actually have to go walk your walk, do your samurai warrior code, and you know what? Things break here. Sometimes we go through lessons that shatter us. But here's the thing about bones, and I didn't know this, but when you break a bone, the osteocytes that like build them back together, after you break a bone, the part that broke actually grows back stronger, right? So whatever it is that you've been through this last year that broke you, as I was saying with my guides, I feel broken. Maybe I was, maybe I wasn't, I don't know, but they kept saying, you're not broken, you're healing. And so now I see where I am now to where I was then. And that girl, I send her so much love and compassion, because you'll get through it, you'll heal, and you'll be way stronger. And that those things that broke you before will never break you again. And so I heard this one song. I didn't write it here, but it's supposed to be part of this. Where are you? I wonder if there's just some more. Oh, hey. Bone china, samurai code, my old teacups, Japanese wartime. And then I said, what is porcelain made of? Because I came across this beautiful song. Oh, I've already had insights on this. I forgot I had these insights. And so porcelain is a ceramic material made from a combination of raw materials, including clay, feldspar, quartz, and sometimes bone ash. And at one point, as I said, I saw that rock being tumbled and polished, which could be a quartz, could be bone. Bone could get stronger. I feel like bone ash can be added to a hard paste porcelain to create bone china, which is strong, delicate, and translucent. And then there's this song, and I have it. It's, JoJo. Do you remember JoJo back from the day? So if you ever like go and like want to hear like a person's story, I feel like that woman has been through the ringer and screwed over so many times. So she has this song called Porcelain Reimagined, and it just touches my heart when I hear it. What else? What are these other songs? Not important. Cooper News. Hold up. All right, bon voyage. I don't think he knows what he wants, but he'll figure it out. But yeah, I very highly recommend, if you've been feeling the feels like things aren't healing as fast as you want, listening to this song, because I think I found this song when I was having a really bad day, and it just kind of really helped lift me up and out of it. Because it talked about, I'm tired of forcing it, right? You can't force something. The more and more you try to force it, I think that's when it is going to break. That's when the tension's there. And so that's cool. And now I'm going to actually get into the teacup reading. I thought we were going to pull some cards, but yeah, I want to. You know what? It's a card reading and cup reading. Boom. Okay. First one we have is the World card. There's a completion happening. And look at that. There's all those different colors. That's all the kaleidoscope. It says, congratulations on successfully accomplishing what you set out to do. You made it through the challenges and incorporated the lessons life offered you with grace and courage. And you know what? That was so important in the Samurai Code. Grace and courage were both lessons in that. These are just really quick messages. We're not going to get into anything deep. I feel like the last one was the deep. We have King of Water, and it says, warm-hearted, devoted, loving, faithful, a trustworthy person or relationship enters your life. You may receive wise and compassionate advice from someone who speaks directly from the heart. And I want to pull one more. Oh, we got two. We are Siamese. What's behind it? Frig shit. Okay, this is exactly yesterday's reading. It was all about that you have two paths to go down. Some, if you don't do the work, you're going to believe in your ego and you're going to go catapult down this narcissistic, self-absorbed ego timeline. It says, you may feel that you're trapped in your situation, but that's not true. Be careful not to overly focus upon material wealth and break free of negative thinking. That is exactly yesterday's reading. I'm going to tag it below. I feel like it was a good one, if you feel called. And then in yesterday's reading, there was lions all over the map. And there was a talk about partnership as well. But it says, the Lion and the Lamb. It says, true strength is displayed through kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. You have tremendous personal power and courage. And then with that, I just want to pull some Earth Warriors. We have Medicine Horse. There is progress on the path. So as much as this last year has made you feel so slow, right? I feel like the break happened so long ago, at least a year ago, and that's when that door got shut. And then this last part was the healing part, and it was such a slow process, and you're strong now. You're stronger than you were, but there was always progress. It just was so slow, and it's so hard to see and believe progress when all you have to do is just sit and be. Last one is the power of good. Let me try Anja Durga. With that one, what am I seeing about this one? Okay, so I was drawn to the butterfly, and then I was drawn obviously to the kitty cat. But the butterfly, I saw like the floatingness of it, and people being like, oh, how harmless. And then boom, there's like this fierceness behind it, which kind of goes with that warrior type energy. It's like that lion and the lamb. Just because I'm not a raging biatch doesn't mean I ain't got bite. And so that's what I'm seeing for that. Now to go into these cups. As you've seen on the thumbnail, pick your cup, and we'll share some insights. Hi, I want to say hi, pile one, but I guess it's a pile of tea leaves here. But hi, cup one, this is your reading. And so when I was pouring the water into it, I saw this big superstar. And then, and what did they say? It was pretty much, you're a superstar, and it's going to continue or grow. I saw a superstar, and it's only going to get brighter. So it seems like at this moment, I'm seeing sweetness. Lots of sweetness in life right now. And a busy bee going to flower to flower to flower. I see family. Family's going to be very important on this next little bit of your journey. But, oh man, I wish I could kind of show you. Can you, oh no, the bumblebee fell. That was the bumblebee. I'm going to put him in the middle because the middle is kind of empty. But okay, I guess this doesn't work. I guess you don't get to see what I see, but that's okay. So in the middle, there was like this little center, and it kind of looked like a heart. And then all around it, I saw a hibiscus or some kind of flower like that. And how do we want to start this? Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave that there, and I really feel called to read this first. So what I see in this pile, especially with that focus on family and that really much being busy, going from flower to flower to flower, which, interesting now. Dang, I really want to show you. Oh wait, you already saw the pic. No, you saw tea. Are they empty when I don't remember the thumbnail that I took. Anyways, I see a crown, and I see that crown upside down. I see that family and connection is still important, but I see that now you're not so much controlling. And because you're not as much controlling, I see your heart kind of have space. And because your heart has been opened, now there's more time for things to flow in and out of it. Whereas before, I saw that it was so busy, and it was always focused on other people and organizing people and telling people what to do and all those kind of things. And now it's just like a breath. It's just clear. I see peace. I see peace coming. And now that you have peace coming, you get to enjoy more. I'm seeing there's a lot of, okay, so there's so much peace coming in this. As I saw, like a superstar kind of thing, but okay, that makes sense. Because what I saw is I see this little cottage, and I see it kind of in the woods. I see like a little ramp that goes to like the lake, and I see like you going in there. And I was like, but when I think superstar, I think like you're busy over here, you know, you got conferences and you got whatever and you got blah, blah, blah. But I was like, how come it's so chill? It's so everything in this. And what I see instead is now you've actually got time to work on what it is that you've always wanted to work on. That's going to bring you admiration for your hard work. Okay, I'm seeing like, oh, from like here up, I'm seeing like a sculpture. You know how they have like those heads that are like on statues, and it's just like from the bust up. I keep seeing that. I see a lot of philosophy coming in your life, like thinking of things like now that you're not focused on everyone else, it's like, what is the meaning of life kind of questions coming to you. And I don't feel like you've gotten time to actually like stop that. And so once all this quiet and this peace, I feel like you're starting to think thoughts and ask questions that you would have never gotten to ask. And by doing this, that's that superstar moment. Your consciousness, your enlightenment, because you're asking like, I think, therefore who I am. I think, therefore I am type questions. I see I'm kind of almost getting drawn to like Thoth or like Hermes tribe, whatever. You know how each culture, from like Roman to Greek to Egyptian, they all have the same energy, but it's just called by a different name. And so anyways, with this energy, he's the one who thought himself into existence. And that's what I kind of see with you. It's like you going within and thinking something into existence. And it's going to be, whereas before I see you taking that crown down and then going off. I feel like cards play into this too, so I'm not supposed to, they tell me not to put them in the pile like I did, because we'll still bring those in, but main focus is on here. So on that, I'm being drawn to the neck, and so the head with the thoughts I see used to be really heavy, and it's like the weight of the world on your shoulders kind of thing, because when I see it, I keep seeing it as the statue. And so in the heart, I saw that open and vast, and I don't know. They say, make sure to slow down and take time to go to those serene, peaceful type places. Because like when I see the crown on, that's when I see these thoughts that just are, it's too much, right? The busy bee. It was barely hanging on, right? It did have that tumble, right? Even just the tiniest shift was like too much for it. And so taking time to go out to nature to do those kind of things, to not think at some points. And then I see deeper questions. I feel like there's a lot of like surface type things, but those are energies that have been bombarded to you that need to be let go. And so what else are we seeing here? What area would that be? Yeah, again, to the shoulder type heart area. So in this big clump, I almost see like a tiny horse head, and then I see the legs, but it's almost like there's this big something overshadowing everything else, and it's like it's a unicorn. I know it's a unicorn, but I can't tell it's a unicorn because it just has all these layers and these over things. And so it's like, remove this. Once we let go of this, once we let go of this, once we let go of this, then it's like, ta-da! Underneath all this was this. And I think that's like thoughts. It's like peeling back layers of thoughts. Because at first I see like, I'm too busy, I gotta take so-and-so to soccer, and I gotta go do this, and I gotta go grocery shopping, and I gotta do this, and I gotta, and then so I see you taking off that hat, because you have many hats, but I see a horn instead of a hat, right? Take off that hat, and let the thoughts that, I don't know, just, do you ever let your brain stop and think and create? Because I feel like these questions that are going to come to you are things that you've never thought before, because before it was always outside of what you have to do. So to actually go within, right? And if, let's say you're not going to go to cottage, or, oh, I just heard that someone might go back to college and you didn't even know that you wanted to learn something new. But by you not focusing, maybe it's like almost empty nest syndrome or something. The heart was open. Now it's empty, right? You had all these things to do, and now you're like, well, what can I learn? Well, there's always something new to learn. So what do we have here? What is that? Yeah, I see a pipe, like a peace pipe, and I see so much peace in your life coming up, but I hear elementary, my dear Watson. Like, I just feel like now, I don't know, there's like a sophistication happening with this pile, because it said you're gonna be a star and it's only gonna get brighter and brighter and brighter. I feel like Especially if this is someone who like just started their spiritual journey and they're like, oh, this is all woo-woo stuff. But once you kind of have that connection to your guides and you actually learn how you communicate with them, I feel like your growth and your thought process is going to expand so fast that yeah, I saw to level 1, to level 2, to level 5. It's going to be quick. And it's going to change you and refine you and become more sophisticated. I see something leaving. What are you? It's a lemming. It's that attitude of like going with what everyone else wants you to do. Do you remember that game back in the day when there was like lemmings and you had to like direct and like help guide them and save them? If not, like they didn't think for themselves. They just went in a straight line, and if there was a mountain, they were going to fall off that mountain because why? They don't think for themselves. So I see your consciousness super expanding, and because of that, it's almost like you understand why other people act the way that other people act, and with that brings you peace. And because you realize that it's not, I don't know, I see someone like saying things to you, but you're like, that's a reflection of them, not me. And so because of that, you don't take these things in and take things as personal before. And that's the big shift they're telling me. You're not going to take things personal, and because nothing is personal. And because of that, now I see you in moments where you used to blow up or overreact. Now you're going to find things, you're going to find like the sweetness of things and go with the flow. I'm seeing a tooth or a molar, and then I see a leaf by it. And do you know what that reminded me of? It reminded me when I went to Peru, and they used to chew on cocoa leaves to help with altitude sickness. And so I saw that cabin, or I saw nature. So possibly I see like an adventure to go on this like spiritual quest. Maybe you might go to something and like find a shaman or go to a sacred site. But I feel like the chewing on something is like chewing on knowledge, chewing on wisdom or something. But the main thing of that is, I feel like whoever this reading is for, it's like your soul has woken up, and now it's like, I've been kind of suppressed for a while, and now I'm out there, I'm ready to go, and it's like guiding you. It's almost like, I don't know, I just feel like you're going to be more empowered. You're going to be more, I'm seeing like emperor energy, and you're just going to go do these things. And everyone would be like, there are going to be some people that are like, well, that's not how you acted before. Like, why are you so into this? And you being like, I don't care. Like, this is what I want to do. It's me time now. And going off and doing what you want, going on new adventures, new journeys, reaching new heights, right? Especially because those cocoa leaves are for altitude, like way up in the Andes Mountains. Now I see someone with a backpack, so like that is somewhere where you can go, and you go on like a backpacking hike, or I don't know. I don't want to like, that's just what I see it. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to move on to the next energy, but I see a spiritual journey for this one. And the spiritual journey is going to change the way that you view things, especially because here we are in the everyday. But to actually go somewhere where things were so sacred back in time, you can feel that energy. And you know what I think is really cool? Oh yeah, so in the past reading that's tied to this, they're so tied that you can't not, especially with like this being like a super old Japanese one. I don't know where in the world you feel like you're kind of called, but in it talked about how the door was closed, and at one point it talked about how you had karmic lessons, so you had to keep coming back, right? That soul into that portal, but you learned the karmic lessons, so it's like sealed up. But you've had past lives, and so sometimes things within us just awaken, and you feel called to go somewhere and you don't know why. You never even heard about it, you don't know why, but that's because you lived there at that time and you have wisdom within you. If you just shush for a bit, go out to nature, learn how to quiet the mind, stop the heart from feeling that tightness, and just be old ancient wisdom. I almost felt like most of it you'll get from your guides, but it's already in you. You've already experienced this. This is already your knowledge and wisdom for you to tap into. And for some, you don't even have to go all over the world. You can just, but it's kind of cool to actually be there in the energy of that moment. I had a moment like that. I woke up from a dream and they told me, go travel here. And I never traveled in my life. So my mind was a little bit doubtful, but once you go there, it's cool. I don't know what your experience will be like, but I don't want to influence it. I'm seeing someone on two skis, and the back part is kind of crossing, but they're just saying like all you need to do is just straighten yourself out a little bit, and then it will be parallel. Things will go smoother once you uncross the two things that don't really, it's almost like doubt. I almost see like it should, and it's gonna go fast, right? I'm seeing like a video that they shared, and this one like dad's like puts his kid on the toboggan and he just like pushes him down, and the kid's like, I want to go head first, and he's like, no, you have to be responsible and go on this way. But little did he know that this kid's gonna go down the mountain and like right into the forest. Like, it was far. That looks so fun. But actually I'm being drawn. I remember they used to like put all the snow in the town that I would, right? They clean out the streets and then they put it in like the park area. And one day my friend came over and it was nighttime. It was so dark out. And normally at that age, you weren't allowed to go out and do things. But their mom came over and was like, can Christy go tobogganing? And we just had those crazy carpets. Apparently they're illegal now. I didn't hear that. I don't have kids, so I don't know. I don't go looking for those things, but I heard the other day that apparently you can't get them anymore and they're illegal. And I was like, what? Because I was on them. But now I think about it, man, did those things hurt? But I went down, they were going the other way, and I'm an impatient person. And I'm like, I'm gonna make my own way because I didn't want to wait my turn. So I went the other way because it also looks steeper. And man, did I hit every bump as I went down. And so what I'm seeing is like things being crossed and just uncrossing the two things. It's almost like a fear that's like a block. Like, maybe it's like your arms. You're blocking your heart. You're blocking your something. But once you kind of open up, it's gonna flow. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. I'm seeing, I don't know what it does. Hold up. I'm seeing a amygdala. I don't know what. What does the amygdala do? It's a small almond-shaped structure located deep within the brain's temporal lobe. It plays a key role in several important functions related to emotions, behavior, and survival. Here's a breakdown. It processes emotions, interpreting emotions such as fear, anger, pleasure. It recognizes emotional cues in others, and facial expressions, tones, voice, fear and threat detection. It involves the brain's fight or flight response. It quickly processes potential threats. Memory formation. It helps attach emotional significance to memories, particularly those linked to fear or reward. Okay, there's more. Decision making and social behavior. Stress regulation. Okay, so what I needed to know was the memory formation. That's the past life memories in you. I see you stopping and I don't know, it's almost like daydreaming or just being open. And then all of a sudden it's like, I don't know how, I feel like there's so many ways. You have five psychic senses. You have 5 senses and 5 psychic senses. But I'm getting a lot of claircognizance in this one. So you're just gonna think, and then you're gonna have this thought, and people are like, how do you know that? And you're like, I don't know, I just know. And I want to say it's like a download, but it's not a download. It's almost something in you just coming back up. And it's so buried below. It's deep in the subconscious. It's gonna come back up. My phone storage was full. But you know what? I feel like, well, that's a message in itself. I see the brain being too full with these daily tasks, the busy bee. But by you kind of delegating, and like for some, I feel like it's not by choice. It's like empty nest or whatever. And it's like, what do I do now? Or I don't know, maybe something happened where, I don't know, whatever it is, you're going to take it. It's going to bring you a lot of free time. And in this free time, it's going to bring you, I see a process of the boredom and all that. And then once you kind of work through that, then I see creation. I see these new depths, these new thoughts, this new you. Like, I don't know, you're going to be raising your consciousness. You're gonna have new everything. And so for this teacup, I feel like what's happening for you is you're going to transform into the highest version that you didn't even know was possible. And so it's a little bit scary, but you just have to let it open up. It's gonna be quick too. Once you're open, it's gonna happen so quick. And I felt like that was pretty much it. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the memories. The ones you make now and the ones that are coming back. And you're letting go of that lemming type thing. I see a spiritual journey kind of coming, and huge shifts in the way that the mind perceives things. You're not going to take things as personally anymore. You're actually going to understand the way the world works. You're almost like, I feel like you might even be able to see energy or something. I don't know, something, this is something spiritual. But it's all elementary. So with that, we'll leave it there. I hope you have a good day, and we'll see you next time. Hi, Cup 2. This is your reading. And so I must admit, I had so many problems with your cup. First, when I tried to like tip it over, like nothing wanted to come out. Like it stayed at the bottom. And so I'm getting that this pile has a really, really hard time of just letting go. And so the first insight that I got while I was actually like filling the cup, so I was pouring the water in, and so this is chai tea, and it has a bunch of different spices and lavender in it. And so what I thought was cool was the lavender came to the top, and I saw a blue stork or ibis out of the lavender. And then I was like, dang, that's even cooler, because right, the purple, the blue, the lavender. But actually, you can't really tell. Maybe you could tell by one. There's actually birds. It's blue and there's birds on this. And so because I said the previous reading is so associated with this one, a bluebird came out. And so this one says, be patient and focused. So when I was trying to do your reading, it just kept cutting out, kept saying that your storage was full, and then I would go and I would delete all the videos that I had forgotten to delete. And then in the app that I make the videos or upload it to, it had way too much storage, and so I deleted those. But in the storage, it didn't change anything. It was kind of like things were frozen. And then I like offloaded it and deleted it, and then I tried to like re-download it, and it took its sweet time. In fact, it never finished. I went and deleted other things, and I was like, fine, we'll work with that. And what I got from that, so before I was like really in my hype, and in this one I'm kind of feeling, you know when you just like everywhere you go you get met with like a block or something, and so I am feeling a lot more calmer in this reading, which kind of goes with this one. Be patient and focused. So right there, there's like the perfect moment there, and he's waiting till it gets there. So I had to believe that in the right time, everything would happen. But yeah, first kind of came a little bit of annoyance, and how can you take that annoyance and trust the process? Because as I said, this card did not want to let go. It almost was like holding everything inside. Everything was getting bottled, and then all of a sudden just like plop. Like, so let's actually see what we got here. So over here on the side, I'm seeing a little frog, and the little frog's kind of off on its own. It's actually kind of giving me, it's almost like see-through. It's like the skin is see-through, translucent. What about that? I'm not quite sure. I have to figure out what this part is first. So I keep, especially with this big mound, I keep seeing like a grass hut with like a straw roof and things like that. And so when I see this straw hut and I see this like see-through frog, it keeps giving me like one good wind, one good flood, one good something could like blow that house away. Like I don't really feel safe and stable. It just seems like there's like the pillars and everything built on top of it is just, it's there. And I think that's why you're holding on to it so far, because it seems like the foundation is just not quite strong yet. And then with this frog, it's see-through. I feel a little bit of vulnerability, a little bit of being exposed, and a fear of having that. And we can go back to this card. Is that clear? I didn't actually look at the fish, and that's kind of almost weird. I'm seeing actually a bit more of these colors, but in the frog, but the frog being the fish, and like you can see, it's just vulnerable. And so maybe that's what you feel like. Maybe you feel like prey or something is doing it, and so you're a little bit cautious on your journey to move forward. And I feel drawn because I kept seeing this bird, this stork, this everything. I know this is a tea leaf reading, but I really feel called to use just pull one card from here. So Thoth, he's the Egyptian. I feel like that came out in the last cup reading, but it was in a different way. It was like I think, therefore I am. But in this one, I feel like there's a message from. So when it comes to pertaining to safety or needing to be patient and focused, what do we need to know here? Yeah, I don't feel like this pile feels safe, because here we have peace in reverse. There's no peace in this. So I'm getting that like real struggles, real worries, like how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to do these kind of things? And okay, so we had the 3 of discs, and it said works, and it's been released in reverse. So maybe someone did lose a job. Maybe that's that kind of thing. And if that's your story right now, I'm getting you're feeling vulnerable. You're feeling like things aren't really going the way that you want them to, but things are lining up for you. I'm feeling a hug right now from Spirit, sending it through to you. Yeah, because even though I don't know, I'm feeling cards are so drawn in this, but even when I look at this like thatch roof hut, I'm seeing a giraffe, and the giraffe, I see a camel. How are those two kind of connected? So I see the camel as endurance, that you have everything within you right now that the Spirit talking. We don't want you to stress more in this moment because things are aligning up perfectly for you. You have enough resources and everything for right now. So we don't want you to go and stress more and more and more and create more lack. And then when that camel, and then it turns to the giraffe, it's like a higher perspective. But mostly what I see in that is like uniqueness and a new perspective, but your spin on something. Embrace this new, especially this card. I see like the 3. It's like mind, body, spirit. I feel like you've got this quality or something that only you have to offer. And if you're worried on stress or something like, how am I going to pay bills? What if, and you know what? I feel, sorry. I feel like crying now that we started this reading, and I just want to say, sorry, I just want to say, balls, I have to log in. I don't want to. It was a message that popped up on my phone, and I felt like it was just a great message, and it pretty much was like, what if everything worked out? I'm butchering it because it also had to do with the only way that you will fail is if you don't try. And I think there's something that you've always wanted to try, and that's what Spirit is like, giving you an opportunity to try that. So rather than go for what it is that they're making waves for you, this is your opportunity for that. So it's like reaching out your neck kind of shows that vulnerability, right? There's so many arteries and things in here, but you do need to be a little bit vulnerable and exposed. At least you still have a roof above your head. And I see finding joy in the simple things in life. So I feel like the cup is going to be more positive. I feel like this is the situation. This is the underlying fear or something. I'm seeing just, you have 24 hours in a day and a certain amount of energy. And you have a certain amount of money and resources at this moment, and energy is abundant. But at this time, this is your comfort zone of what you believe. And so I see not going out and being frivolous and like blowing it on things that you know aren't going to help you, but being a little bit responsible in this time, right? This one says, be patient, be focused. Right, and there's that fish. And it's like, what's that saying? Give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, and he'll eat for a lifetime. So let's move on into this. So I'm seeing like a marching band or something. I'm seeing 2 people and they're celebrating. One has like, it kind of gives me like old, oh man, like Renaissance kind of energy. But I see someone with like a stick and they're kind of like marching like this, and they kind of got like bells and whistles and like, and then I see the other one with like one of those, I want to call it a lute or something like that, but it's like those different guitars. And I see celebration, a reason to celebrate coming. These people are expressing joy, expressing something to it. And so that's a totally different energy than this one. But you have to be open and you have to be vulnerable and exposed in order to share that. Because these people don't care what you think, right? They're like, here's my neck, here you can see everything, I'm see-through, but here's what I have to give. I have this song, I have this laugh, I have this make a joke, I have something. And yeah. I see angels. And they're also playing instruments. I hear jamming, I hear songs, I hear... Oh, that's beautiful. I almost see in the darkest time, when you thought things were gonna break and things were gonna shatter, I feel like that's that moment when you started to hear your angels, and it's almost like I'm hearing that like energy, and from that, I really recommend listening to the JoJo song Porcelain Reimagined, because it is a sad song, but I found it to be so beautiful. I love it. And it's that reimagining those pieces and coming back together in that kaleidoscope. Because whatever it was in that super stressed moment, I see you being like, I can't do it, I can't. And then all of a sudden something breaking, that broken moment that happened a year ago or whenever this happened. And in that's when I hear the angels. They were always there. You always had the guides. But I feel like before it was so focused on holding this. I gotta hold this. I can't break it. And now they're there, and I hear that chorus of them. And because of that, I almost see like a belief that spirit is there for you, that you aren't alone. And then I see day by day them playing their music, and then that music in you, and then the music getting louder and louder and louder. And then rather than being so rigid and holding on to things, I see flow. And so what else do I see? Yeah, and especially with them marching, it's just like one step leads to the next step, leads to the next step. And you're gonna have company around you. I don't see this being a solo mission. I see it being protected. So you've got that. And I feel like you've had quite a few synchronicities when your angels have kind of reached out. Very cool moments. And for some, I feel like there's a little bit of doubt. Oh, that wasn't real. It was. Yeah. It was very musical. I'm hearing different music. I'm hearing like harps or lutes or just like really, really quirky, unique, different things. And what's going on over here? Okay. So when I first came over here, I saw like a wardrobe or a trunk. I saw a wardrobe that was like overstuffed and cluttered. And I heard like there's just a little bit of need to like declutter things, because that kind of is bringing in that stuffy energy. And then once you kind of release some things, they'll be a little bit more airy. But then I saw the wardrobe turn into the heart. And so the heart, I'm seeing a bit of anxiety, or that obviously you have that feeling if that's what you've been focusing on. I don't know what your situation is or what the loss was, but let's say for this story we're going to use a job loss, because I feel like most people could understand what I mean by that, right? Because that affects so many things. Sometimes it's not just you, it's everything outside of you. How you going to eat, how you going to do that, bringing it back to the heart. I see that anxiety, but I see that once you kind of clear your outside surroundings. But then I also saw a bit of food. I saw that with the camel and I didn't quite get there. But when I saw the food, it was a bit more eating a bit heart healthier things, not so much greasy, oily things. And like, for me to say that right now, I almost feel like I'm calling myself a hypocrite, because I can't get enough pizza. I burnt my mouth. But let me see here. I'm seeing shoes. I don't know what the shoes has to do. Now I'm seeing a motorcycle. Okay. And that's on that cluttered type area. So I'm also being drawn to, at the beginning, we pulled this card with the ego, and it said, you may feel trapped in your situation, but that's not true. Be careful not to overly focus upon material wealth and break free of negative thinking. And that's what I see. I see like just kind of collecting things and things around you. I almost feel like you have this box, and in this box you can move around, but in this box you keep filling up with things and things and things and things and things and things, and now I feel like this, and so there's no room to dance, no room to do that. Woo, 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 woo. So if you're not using these things, I am seeing it might be beneficial to let go things that no longer bring you joy. I'm seeing, what am I seeing? What am I seeing? So I keep seeing like a lizard hand and like the claws on the end. I see 2 dolphins over there. But what about the hand? Like, I don't understand. It's broken off. There's like the thing there, and then, okay, so they're showing me regeneration. Okay, I was like, that's just, I don't understand. But that's what I see is, I see the hand reaching out for something, and it grabbed onto something, and then the hand got cut off, and it kind of showed me like something was stolen or something like that. But what was taken will regenerate back. So now I see, was this the one that had the camel? Yeah, it was, the giraffe. Okay, so now I see the giraffe over here, and it's got like the giraffe and then like the head up here, and then there's something built on top of this, and it's almost, I don't know, it's unstable though, right? So you got that, and then and then there's something built up here, and so up here it's just a little unstable. What is it though? It looks like a flying ship, and I'm hearing Nicki Minaj's "Starships were meant to fly." Hands up. Hey, your hands up. Okay. So did you ever hear, it's like a Grey's Anatomy, like before they would go do surgery, they always do like their power poses. So you can do your one power pose. So if you're not feeling confident, you can just hold your hands up and keep them there for a while. And when you do this, it's almost like tricking your brain or your nervous system. I don't really know how the science works yet. I haven't quite gotten that far into looking, but I believe that it tricks your nerve. You're in control, and it almost, because now you're in control of it. I think it has to do with like vagus nerve or some kind of nerve. It increases endorphins or something like that. Honestly, I heard it. It's in my brain somewhere. It's not coming out, but that's what it does. You put yourself in these poses when you don't feel confident, and it's you being in control, and it changes the mood and the chemistry of your brain. And so now I see this flying ship on top of that giraffe. Where is it now? Oh, there it is. Yeah, because I see a lot of thoughts in the head, and once you clear that thought, I don't know, there's just a little bit more clearing that needs to happen in this one. A little bit of house tidying, a little bit of thoughts tidying, a little bit of power pose, a little bit of eating healthier, and these tiny things is going to shift the energy. And that's good in all, spirit, but I would love to see a little bit farther, because all of this is right now energy. I thought this would be more future, but no, it's still all right now energy. Oh yeah, it's only this, I can't really give farther out because this cup did not want to let go. And you have to let go, right? Everything is so cluttered, right? And you're trying to hold on to things and it gets tenser and tenser and tenser. But at the beginning of this message is when things break, when you let go, that's when you can go in the flow. But it talked about that kaleidoscope and taking things and how it actually is now more beautiful for being vulnerable and breaking and healing. Right? It's not the destination, it's the journey. How do you act through every single twist and turn and loop? And personally, I have found that the healing moments from my real lows are like the things that I keep with me all the time. Those are my treasure pieces. Those are my gems, my jewels that when I go forward, I'm like, I know I won't go back to that. I'm stronger, I'm wiser, I'm more beautiful because I got that gem. And how do gems happen? Well, I'm seeing coal, right? Compress it, compress it, compress it. And that's what I feel like all this is, the stress, the stress, the stress. It's kind of too much on the heart they're showing. And so there is a need to, hey, I learned something cool today. So the diaphragm is right there, and so the heart is right above it, and they have that pericardium around it, that little sac, and so that sac's kind of tied to the diaphragm, and so the diaphragm helps with your breathing. So when you breathe, essentially you're kind of giving your heart a little massage. And so in the book it kind of talked about how yogis said that breathing is like a massage for your heart. So I see if there's like that tightness in your heart, like to do the breathing exercises. I know everyone always says that, but like what am I seeing? There is physical benefits to it. There's emotional benefits and psychological. And I see, oh yeah, that trifecta, physical, emotional, and psychological. There's all this mind, psychological, body, physical, heart, emotional. It all works together. And guess what? You breathe all day, every day. It's just something you do natural. It's an unlimited resource that you can use at your fingertips to help you through this. So now that we got that, can I see a little bit farther now? I saw a helicopter, now I see an eagle. I see heights, I see lifting up from that heavy, heavy, heavy. And now that's where that neck is, right? The vulnerability, getting a higher view, higher view, higher view. I see the angels, right? Because there was that celebration, that moment. And breathing through whatever you're going through, knowing that the angels, I see them with that horn. So that horn also to me signifies judgment, because I feel like something was taken out of this group, and it's been a real big blow. And maybe life was this way, you had a lifestyle and you want to hold on to that lifestyle, but Spirit's like, we're opening this up for you. You've got the endurance, you've got the creativity, the uniqueness, and now we just need you to lighten up a little bit. The only way you need to lighten up is just breathe. And you're breathing all the time now, so now we just want you to have a consciousness with your breath. We want you to take your breath and use it to heal, to elevate things and lighten. And when you lighten, that's when you get that flow and that dance. Dance party. Right? I see the helicopter kind of coming and like taking you up out of this. Like, hey, you're not meant to be here anymore. The claw. My friend. Oh, she's so funny. Anything else? You have 3 different seeds planted, and they haven't started sprouting yet. One of them is going to sprout 2 things, plus this, plus this. So I think you forgot you planted them, because they're kind of planted underneath the other things, like the shoe and the wardrobe and the clutter are all kind of there. And this motorcycle, I don't know if you bought a motorcycle or you always wanted a motorcycle. So I see like two things. I see like someone who bought a motorcycle but they never use it, and it's like, do you need that, or does it just take up space? And then I see another person who always wanted a motorcycle and like go do fun things, and it's like, I see maybe starting off slow with a bicycle and then working your way up. But if that rolling makes you that happy, I see a lot of air. So breathing, I feel like, yeah, especially when I like looked over, I got this deck of cards, and it's just like, I feel like this needs that rush. Like, roll your windows down in your car, feel that, go skydiving, go get a motor, go for a bike ride, go for something. I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know, get movement. We need movement. And I feel like there needs to be a little bit of movement in the heart. Not so heavy. Eating a little bit lighter at this time. Obviously, I'm not a nutritionist. My friend is. But I want to say like eat balanced, eat right, everything that you need. But I'm seeing just eat lighter at this time, because right now seems like a heavy purge moment. And like when this all came, it was like blah, like, and so that's, I feel like, because you let go of things little bits at a time, it's going to be a little bit easier. But with this, when it comes that much, because it's almost like holding it and holding it and holding it and holding it, and when it does hit, it's almost like a crisis type energy. It's like such a dark night of the soul moment. And so just breathe through it, because this stuff is just, it needs to go. It's just an energetic, okay, here, we'll take a little bit away. You're going to get through it. It's hard, but you have all the resources you need. And I see when it comes physically, just remember to drink the water and flush things out. Some of this is just really, really heavy. Is there anything else, Spirit? I'm seeing the bird again. Okay, this is weird, but I'm always weird. But I saw the bird, and so there is a little bit of liquid in this plate, and so I see the bird there, and I see it kind of curled up, and then when I tilted the plate, all the liquid kind of came out, and it was like the color of like urine. I don't know what that's a significance to, but I just say what I see. And for some, if, as I said, drink lots of water to help like flush things through. But I'm also kind of getting, for someone, okay, so I saw this a little bit in the reading. You know, you hold on to stuff. It almost kind of showed me in terms of like going to the washroom. If you can't let go of things around you, it tends to also reflect in you. So some people might have trouble like going to the washroom. Number 2, right? We hold on to shit. I'm holding on to shit, and the same. And so that's why I'm seeing just start, they did talk about eating better, and I saw a heart. For someone, I would say it would be best or wise to go to your doctor and just get your blood checked or something like that, right? Just make sure. And then ask them what would be, if this would be beneficial for your body, that kind of thing. Yeah. Especially if you have, I don't know, I'm seeing like that heaviness. And there's just things to help you through all this. And as much as like that blah at the same time, like all of it at once, as I said, it's almost like a dark night of the soul, like a crisis type energy. There's help through that. And the only reason why this is so intense right now is because it's time to let it go. And it's scary to let go. But I do see celebrating after. So let it go, let it flow, and heal. I do want to pull a future, right? I feel like all of this was like, okay, we got the Chisaka, and it said Star of Venus. When I look at it, she's going within the third eye and then the heart. So again, it's bringing it back to the breathing. And with the breathing, meditating. I think the reason why it was so hard to let go of so much of this was not really having, I don't think some people knew that they were holding on to so much of this. All of a sudden, it just manifested as a pain in the hip or the back or the neck or the wherever. And then it just kind of got worse and worse and worse. So when you actually go within and like do the body scan, whatever meditation you feel drawn to, I feel like for when it comes to the heart, like a meta meditation, because that's only heart-centered kind of thing. Lots of breath work, things like that. And it will help kind of work through anxiety, or maybe in some cases, some people, I'm picking up on a heavy like depression kind of energy, and that's where I'm like, maybe you can go to the doctor and talk to them. Do I say you need to go on? I don't know. That's not my thing. That's not my forte to tell people. So, but there could be things that could help you with it. Maybe food, diet, exercise, or medication or something. But that's what I'm picking up on this one. I'm seeing lightness. I'm seeing you let things go, let it flow. And then I see this balance coming back. Because right now, collectively, it seems like, right, it's the end. And so the end, I feel like for some that this end is hard, and it is. Endings are hard, endings are sad. But to hold on to something that now stops the flow within you is harder. I see a butterfly. And I see a flower. It's a midnight flower. Midnights. Flower. What's the Taylor Swift song that has a flower on it and Midnights? I don't know. But I will know soon. Let's see here. Lavender haze. Lavender. Hey! It was the lavender that made the bird. So maybe lavender itself would be very beneficial. But I don't want to play the song. I just want the lyrics. I've been under scrutiny. You handle it beautifully. All this shit is new to me. I feel the lavender haze creeping up on me. Surreal. I'm damned if I do. Damned what people say. No deal. The 1950s shit they want from me. I just want to stay in the lavender haze. And now the only thing that's standing out is get it off your chest. Get it off my desk. That's the wardrobe. Get it off your chest. Get it off your desk. There's something that needs to be cleared. I feel the lavender haze creeping up on me. So damned if I do give a damn what people say. So yeah, I think it's time to get it off your chest and get it off your desk. And from that, there'll be lightness, there'll be air, there'll be breath, there'll be raising higher, that lighter feeling, and celebration. So you're loved, you're supported, you got angels all around you. And what was taken will come back. Will it be the same thing? I don't know. But source, angels, you will regenerate through this. So with that, we'll leave it there. I hope you have a good day, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Okay, just one more quick thing. So I had so much trouble starting this reading. Everything was clogged, everything was full. Your message was pretty much the same thing. And then finally, after I ended the reading, I went and everything worked flawlessly, and it cleared up so much space. And because the thing, it got like stuck, it got frozen, and it was all gone, but for some reason it all stayed in there. But once I ended the reading, it was all gone, everything was unclogged, and actually I had way more space than before. And that's what I feel like is the whole message of this story, and I thought that was just a cool synchronicity I wanted to share with you. And Scooby-Doo, do you just want to show your cute face? Here's some cuteness for you. Oh my goodness, you're getting big Scooby-Doos. Scooby-Doos, can you just show a little bit of cuteness? Cuteness for the internet? He's a pug chihuahua that will forever look like a little Rottweiler. Scooby-Doo, that's his Scooby-Doo name. Hey, Koopaloo? So, there's lots of animals in yours, so maybe some animals will help bring some joy. But with that, we'll say goodbye again. See you guys.